Good morning, it's Saturday, it's 9 o'clock and I've just arrived at Black Park Parkrun, ready to do this course today and review the accessibility as I go around. I've not been here before, my dad came the other week and said it should be quite a good one, so I'm excited to give it a go today, so let's go.
Parking here is nice and easy in the main Black Park car park. There are 7 designated blue badge spaces, 3 straight on by the pedestrian gate and 4 more just before these. The parking is free here for blue badge holders. Everyone else would need to pay for parking, which costs £4.40 for 2 hours of parking. On arrival, I had another wheelchair malfunction. Shock that. My axle pins was jammed in my all-terrain tyres. This will teach me for not putting them away properly last week. The pins were not moving an inch. My dad then arrived and also couldn't release them. We made a comment that we could do with some oil to try and loosen them up, which we didn't have. Then light bulb moment. Luckily, I'm a guide leader and was going straight to an event afterwards, for which I had a bottle of garlic olive oil in the car. So quick pour and the axle pins were loose. This meant I could still do parkrun, thankfully, albeit with a massive garlic smell following me throughout. Having parked and got my chair sorted, I headed to the main cafe building where the toilets are. They have a separate accessible toilet. You do not need a radar key to enter here. Inside, the cubicle is nice and clean and it looked like a fairly new facility. Now, onto the course. The briefing happens right at the start line, so when you're ready, just wander down and join everyone there. The start is on one of the main paths, just a short distance from the toilets. People were lining up pretty early, so I ended up starting further back than usual. If you like being up at the front, it's worth heading straight to the start as soon as you arrive. The briefing is done right there and the sound system is great. It's super clear and easy to hear. This is a single lap course that loops around the beautiful park. You kick off by heading straight down a compacted earth path. It was completely covered in leaves when I was here, hiding lots of roots underneath, so the first section felt a little sketchy as I couldn't see what I was rolling over. Not long after the start, the path bends to the left. It's a bit crowded here, so sticking to the right can help avoid the worst of the congestion. Once you've turned, things open up with fewer trees, meaning fewer leaves, but after all the recent rain, it was super muddy and wet pretty much everywhere. You'll be on this path for around 600 metres. There's a section where the path narrows between fences, so just be aware as more runners bunch up. A bit further on it tightens up again, so expect a little more congestion there too. Next you'll turn right and follow this path for about 1.5 kilometres. Just after the turn there's a slight uphill, but it rolls back down shortly after, and the route continues like this, small ups and downs all the way. There are a lot of paths branching off, so keep an eye out for other park users, but the main route keeps going pretty much straight, sometimes bending slightly either way here and there. The surface continues to remain on the compacted gravel flooring the whole way, and with the time of year there were a lot of fallen leaves. That, coupled with the really wet weather we had, continued to make it tough and slowed me down along here. Even on the areas where it sloped slightly downhill, I didn't feel like I was picking up as much as momentum as I normally do. The scenery is stunning the whole way. If you've never been to Black Park, I'd absolutely recommend it, both for the parkrun and just for a general visit. You keep going along this path all the way till the lower end of the park. When you get there, you'll turn right and start running adjacent to the main road outside of the park, which will be over to your left-hand side. You head along this path for around 500 metres, where the surface is sticking on the compacted earth, which on this day, as mentioned, was super wet and muddy. I even came across someone who was being helped after slipping along this part. So if you're coming during the wetter months, especially when there is a lot of fallen leaves, then just be cautious if you're on your feet as the surface is slippery. You'll hit a crossroads of paths. Here you take a right turn, which is clearly signposted. The surface felt like it improved a little along here as I picked up a slight bit more momentum. Down this path the edges are marked with large logs either side, so just make sure you don't veer off too much. Going along here, you'll then reach an opening to a field over to your left, with bollards marking the path on the left-hand side on the edge of the field. You continue going pretty straight along this path, ignoring all the paths that are leading off. The surface felt like it got a lot worse along here. It was a lot wetter, which made the mud very gooey and difficult to navigate. However, the views on this path were one of my favourite around the route, so I didn't complain that I slowed right down. You then take a left-hand turn. There was a car parked to the side here, but I'm not sure if this is a regular occurrence or not. After the turn, the path takes on a gradual incline, which after how tough it had been throughout the course, I did not enjoy this. The incline thankfully isn't for too long until it levels back out, and then thankfully goes on a slight decline. You then take a left-hand turn, where you continue on the slight decline. Sadly, this didn't last very long until it levels back out. Continuing to head along this path, I started to see lots of finished parkrunners, which is always a welcome sight that you are nearing the end. You then take another left-hand turn. This is joining back onto the path in which the start line was, but going in reverse. So you head back up towards where we started, at which point you then take a right-hand turn where you're going into the Go Ape area. Straight ahead is the finish line. Passing through this, the funnel continues straight for a fair distance, then the barcode scanners are just off to the side. So I finished today in 36 minutes and 49 seconds, coming in position 532 out of 719 parkrunners.
So that's parkrun done for today here from Black Park. It was really wet, muddy and a lot of leaves on the ground today, which made it really quite slow. I think in summer this would be a really quick one, so definitely one I'm going to come back and try, because I think I'll get round nice and quick. But today it was tough and it was quite slow, but we got it done. So if you've done this one, let me know your comments down below, and I'll see you next week for the next one.